Good evening. Lamenzi, how you doing? Ahmed, how you doing? I should be honoured to be in such high company, Lamenzi. I don't know if you saw the recent video posted by Rush Longbow on the forums, but the No did a video about the current state of play with the loot crate, the stash space fiasco. Testament. Yeah. I can provide you one in a bit, but yeah, I'm surprised they did a video at all, because as you know, the No is owned by Rooster Teeth, and Rooster Teeth and about 5 of their affiliates are on the Agents of the Division statue. So I mean, they are bought and paid for. Vlamenzi has Yannick even described them as promotional partners. But they did a relatively benign video about the controversy, mainly just, well, when you watch it you'll see what I mean. It's one of those articles where you kind of have to cover it, so you explain the controversy but then you give lots of good justification. They kind of play along, they're kind of trying to play neutral in it all. But if you watch the video through the lens that they are a paid for news affiliate of Ubisoft, you know, it kind of makes sense why it's so particularly lame. But the point being, and I think at about 3 minutes 30 they start quoting people's outrage in State of the Game chat, and whose name should fly up on screen, Vlamenzi, but you. That made my day. But yeah, if you look on the official forums, there is a... Oh God. I'll maybe look it up in a break, but it's about microtransactions and loot space. And go right to the end, and the most recent post by Rush Longbow has a long list of vids. Anyway, here we are. So for my week's absence, I've been super busy, and my friend's having a wedding, and I've been doing a ton of stuff, and I've also power leveled this guy. The short version is, I realised that I was going to struggle to continue to stream this, as obviously I really like hardcore mode, and lots of people are going, oh, why don't you play on hardcore mode? My hardcore character is like well advanced and way through lots of the quest lines, and my streaming character was obviously not hardcore and right at the beginning. So I basically did the only sensible thing anyone would do under the circumstances, and over the last piecemeal over the last little while, I have power leveled an entirely new hardcore playthrough to fucking precisely the point where I am on my stream playthrough. So basically I can seamlessly swap onto this character. And it should, the only difference being that I'm now at this on hardcore with slightly different gear and a different beard, which can all be fixed. So yeah, that was my idea, that I will just seamlessly switch. The narrative of the streams as they're recorded won't change. It's all done by magic, folks. Vimenti says, I'll be honest, I haven't played since late July. Yeah, I have to say I'm still playing this because I haven't really got much else I'm that enamoured with. Armoured, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I changed some settings. I'm a bit worried about stability because my last my last stream bombed, and OBS bombed, and it took so long to get back that by the time I got back, nearly everyone was gone, and in the end, I kind of got to home base and called it. But I think that might be an OBS sort of problem. But yes, I have done the two main things I did was check my internet, and my internet service provider was like, oh yeah, you're paying for that really good internet, but your local box is fucked and shorted out and defaulted to a much lower throttling setting. So I'll be looking for a refund from them, because it basically it just kind of semi shut down, and I now have triple the upload. So I'm now running a mental upload. The other thing, and this is wise for anyone to note, every time you window out of this game, it will change your window mode to bordered, and that seems to put a much bigger stress on your graphics card. And you've got to remember, every time you window out of the game, you've got to go back in and set it to whatever it was there. Yeah, sorry, set it to full screen every time. And most games, these settings persist, but with this specific game, every motherfucking time, you've got to remember. And it's, if you don't know that, you'll set it once at the beginning of your stream and then continue to fuck it up. SHD Vicious. I don't know, mate. I will try that off stream. I would never. I'm computer illiterate, so even if my grandmother said, "Oh, have you tried this hotkey?" I'd never press it on stream, because I'm that sucker that falls for the Alt F4 joke nearly every time. But I'll definitely give it a try off stream. But yeah, the DLCs. Just before we get going, the DLCs, I'll take a cookie for the fact that apparently the general consensus is pretty much aligned with my video, is that most people feel that with the From the Ashes DLC, if you play it as you play through the game, it's much more fun and meaningful. But if you just cap it at the end with lots of money, yeah, most people didn't get a lot out of it. The Hans Capon DLC looks fucking fantastic. I really like the Hans Capon character, and anything to do with fighting and armour, I'm a fucking fan of. Cool, I will do Vlamenzi. In fact, fuck it. Let's do it now. I'll just do it now, very, very quickly. Have a go. It's on the Division forums. It was weird when I was there today. I mean, I know some people think I'm just fucking Alex Jones, or the Alex Jones insult in itself is a contrived narrative to try and discredit me, but there are these moments where you do second guess yourself and you kind of think, perhaps I should be giving these guys more of a second out. And today when I was on the forums, I was checking through my emails, and then I checked the date of a message that I got from Johan, and I didn't actually realise that the Division forums started threatening to ban me, and Reddit started censoring my videos within 7 fucking days of each other. I knew it was roughly the same time because I remembered it being about E3, about that time. But when I actually went in there and actually started going through with a fine tooth comb and checking dates, I realised that the subreddit started censoring me on day 1 of E3, and the official forums started censoring my videos the day after E3 finished. So, yeah, I mean, I've existed here for over 2 years. That's not a fucking coincidence. But anyway. The Division forums. Well, it might be on the Division 2 general discussion ones. Let's have a look. Shit, this is... I just know this is... You know what? I'm going to do this on a break because there's a... I can't... I've got the links. I've got the links on my main PC, but there's a great danger that I'll end up flashing lots of my personal information up on screen if I start going into Google, and I don't want you all seeing my midget porn collection. Anyway, where were we? Yes, Henry. This is now hardcore fucking Henry in the identical quest position as before, only on hardcore. Where are we? I think I may have missed one quest. Yeah, if you find Rush Longhammer, I think that's his pronunciation. He's done the last post, and it's massive. But it's in general. It's in general of either the Division 1 or the Division 2 forums, and it's got something like monetization in the title, and he's listed a whole load of videos. Right, let's go and kill some folk. I reckon my gear's actually looking fairly tidy. An interesting point of information was, I always, you know, the knight who challenges you to a duel, you occasionally see him at crossroads and shit. I usually just duel him for lols. And I only just realised that if you can go through the speech options if you're paying attention and you're not in a rush, and you can actually get him to bet some quite serious shit. And I bet him 250 groschen, and in return I won a Milanese brigandine, which is about 4,000 for me to buy, and that was the one item I had missing, and I ended up completely randomly winning it off of him. So yeah, it's worth paying attention to the speech options. But first things first, I reckon let's go and do some murder. So let's see how riding holds up on the stream. Another thing I've discovered recently is, and I don't know if this is patch related or just simply because I'm going so shit fast now, but it would appear once your horse's speed gets up to about 55, you can now go fast enough to kill people in collisions. And during this power leveling session, I have actually accidentally hit a couple of guards in Rattay at full fucking tilt and fucking taken them out. And this is why I have to ride very carefully in this part of town, because there is even some guard here who attacks me. Like, when I ride through, I think if I brush against him, he will chase me down and start punching me. And that was perma-capping my reputation with the guards at 0. Because every time I got back to Rattay, I would hammer through there, accidentally fucking hit him, and then he would chase me down. A few punches would be exchanged. I'd surrender and then he'd leave me alone. But then whatever little bit of reputation I'd gained with the guards, I would then immediately lose. So, yeah. Horses are now officially fucking lethal. Oh, got bandits. Right, let's see what we got. That's a lot of...
You must be here somewhere.
That's a lot of peasants.
Yeah.
Five. There are only peasants they're only peasants, but they could actually, all 5 of them wailing on me could fucking hurt. Well, and then there were 4. You'll be pleased to hear that I'm still as bandy as fuck with an arrow, bow and arrow.
There you are, you knave. Now you'll get...
Yeah, I think we can have a pop at these guys now. Yeah, I mean, let's not fuck around. I've done quite a lot of leveling whilst I was off stream. I mean, this guy's not doing too badly. I am interested. See that straw hat? I'm actually curious about whether or not I could do a complete samurai build. Do a complete samurai build with like the old martial arts straw hat using the lamellar armour from Cumin. Then again, I'll add that to the long list of bad ideas I've had. Like one of my other ideas was I wanted to see if I could dress solely in cloth and have a guy dressed up like Kane from Kung Fu and see if I can just fist fight my way through the game. Apparently that is possible. He died for a good cause, and that cause is my pretzels. Right, let's have a quick nosh. Right, let's head up closer to Townburger and do that raider mission as a warm up. I'll just check if I've got enough poison on my weapon.
Yeah.
As I've said before, you know, maybe poison's cheating, but sorry, cheesing. It's definitely not cheating, but fuck it. This is hardcore. I've got 9 debuffs. All's fair in love and warfare, as they say. Anyway, how are you guys? Oh, and it goes without saying, whilst I was power leveling this guy, I couldn't resist getting slightly fucking batshit crazy with my horse, so I'm riding Warhorse Gender. Glad to hear, Vicious. Glad to hear you well, mate. Likewise, Vermenzi. But yeah, went batshit crazy, went the full works. On Warhorse Gender, my speed's 65. I'm just gonna have 1 hour's kip here. Oh, no worry. Oh, fuck, I haven't bought it. No worries, Ahmed. I often do that from work as well. It's like I haven't got time to watch properly, but at
Aren't
least
you meant to be in the
it's
mosque?
nice to just swing by and
What are
say
you
hi.
doing here?
You're
Good day
fleeing
to you.
truant from the monastery, aren't you?
Well, I hope you learn a few tips in the way I speak and deploy them at work, Ahmed. As long as you're not a police officer or something.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
Certainly.
Hey, Sniper, how you doing, mate?
For how long?
How about if I pay you for several nights?
No problem.
I'll
paying it back?
just go and have a tactical nap, and then explain.
What about this?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud.
Teed, how you doing, man?
Good luck.
Yeah, no clue, mate. No clue. I even tried something with that in mind. I made sure that my account was not on invisible, but oh, mate, sorry to hear. I hate moving with a passion. It's the no, Flamenzi. If you, in fact, that's probably the best idea is if you just Google the no and the Division 2 pre-order, and then you'll probably get taken straight to their channel, and then I can give you the full list later. I was just going to say something about the horses, actually. Yeah, I've been paying a bit more attention to the horses on this playthrough, and the one thing I'm very bad at not reading the mouse over information, but there's certain things that affect speed and certain things that affect handling. So it is worth paying attention to that, because if you've got very bad handling on a very fast horse, you can fuck yourself into hedges very easily. The other thing is I love my RPG shit, but I'm fucked if I'm repairing my saddle anymore, because you can repair it either yourself with a cobbling kit or at a cobbler's, and I repair all of my other tack on my horse, but there's just no point doing it with a saddle, because twice now it's been hit by one stray arrow and gone from 100th to 0 health. And that's just not, I mean, it's a fucking saddle. I mean, a saddle is designed to attach 200 pounds of man and metal armour to a 1 ton fucking horse. It shouldn't fall apart when it's hit by one arrow. And I'm fucked if I'm paying 1,000 groschen every time it gets hit by one arrow. The other things seem to degrade at a normal rate, but I think the saddle is bugged, so I'm leaving that at 0. Well, true Sniper. But in this game, I don't know, man. This is a really expensive saddle. I mean, yeah, I suppose if you cut one strap tactically, you could take it out, but twice now, one arrow from a bandit has terminated this saddle, and 1,000 pop to repair. I'm gonna pass on this front. Man, I'm sorry to hear that you've got to move, mate. I enjoy the process of moving from the point of view of going through everything. It forces you to go through everything that you own, and I actually find that quite therapeutic. But it takes so long, and it is so stressful. So you have my total sympathy, mate. I'm just going to make my way up to Townburg first. just to go and bed down. But yeah, the other thing I will say is, you know what? Those guys aren't that far from here. The other bit of research I did was I went through a database with a fine-tooth comb. My general opinion has always been that Warhorse Gender is the best all-round horse. But if you go onto Reddit, there's a very good spreadsheet someone did. And I think it's on Google Docs. And if you look at it, you realise there is no choice but Warhorse Gender. You know, the person like ranked the abilities as well as gave the score. And the thing is with Warhorse Gender is I don't think Warhorse Gender's first at anything, but in all the categories Warhorse Gender is like rank 2 or 3 or 4. And you know, you can find a horse that beats Warhorse Gender in any other category, but it will be really shit in something else. Like, you know, there's one horse that's faster than this, but it's got really low carrying capacity and really shit courage. So it's a case of, you know, there's always a horse that can beat Warhorse Gender in any category, but it'll be pretty poor in all the others. Whereas Warhorse Gender comes in second or third in virtually every fucking important category. So there's just no point getting one extra speed for the sake of 150 carry capacity, you know, or I don't know, it's slightly more carry capacity and halving your courage. You know, when you actually look at the statistics, you just realise there's a huge cost in picking any of the other horses. Actually, it was actually your comment on State of the Game where you called bullshit on them. And this is going to bug me now, so I'm just going to quickly look this up. I'm going to have to look up cutting horses competitions later as well. I had no idea you were such a horseman. I'm going to have to be careful about my generalisations now. The No Division 2. Yeah. I think... Quick look. Sorry about this, guys. It's just Flamenzi has become famous. Oh god, I'm really going to stop drinking this. Stop drinking this cranky fucking cheap energy drink. I have found it. In fact, the other day I was gaming and there was this really foul smell, and I was like, God, what's that? It was like a cross between a shorting out battery and spunk. And I was just like, it was really bugging me, like, what the fuck? And I started looking around to make sure like one of my battery chargers or something wasn't smoking. And eventually I was like, no, it's definitely coming from my desk. And it was like shorting out battery, ozone and spunk. And eventually, as I'm sniffing, my nose moves closer and closer to the top of the can of Blue Spark sugar-free energy drink, and realised it must have been some interaction between the energy drink and the metal surface of the top of the can. I mean, that cannot be fucking good for you. If the energy drink makes a smell of ozone when it comes into contact with metal, that's surely going to be a fucking bad thing, right? I have found it. You're about 3 minutes in. I will see if I can break this up with some spaces and post it. In fact, I should be able to post it because, yeah, there you go. You're about 3 minutes in. Try 3:30. There you go. I will say I actually really love the know. I mean, they're kind of, you know, there's those channels that you kind of well, not grow up with, but you know, there's those channels that as you really get to know how the internet works and all the rest of YouTube works, you know, they're your favourites. Like, you know, Angry Joe was the first real gaming review YouTuber that I got into, and when it came to gaming news, the Know were like the first crew that I ever really got into. They were like one of the first YouTube channels that I actually used to watch as, you know, like people would watch the news. And it's actually really put things in a different light now, knowing that they have taken the king shilling from Ubisoft Massive. Now I know that they are a paid promotional partner. It just puts, you know, it just changes everything, because now I know, hang on, these guys claim to be a news service, but they take money to cover news stories. You know, so really they're not as much as the news as I thought they were. Right, I think this is this one here. I'm fucking. So yeah, it was a little bit sad, a little bit of a broken dream there, discovering that one of my favourite YouTube channels basically might not be as editorially independent. Well, definitely aren't as editorially independent as I thought they were. Right, I know there's actually a cumin base down there, but I'm pretty sure they're not the ones I'm... No, I've gone for the... I'm going for the... God, what's it called? The Ultimate Edition. Because it's got all the content. So, you know, I'm still buying it, but it's... But I have a moral get out of jail free card because I've promised to cover the game, so I can hide behind that. I can say, you know, I can claim to not be a mug because I've got to do it out of a sense of honour. So that would saves me making a tough decision, because I would like, you know, I'd like to think I wouldn't pre-order, but I probably would. But fuck me. Don't hit that fucking tree or I'm going to get dismounted. The satisfying Tin Man. Right. The important thing is here is I mustn't let the leader run away. If the leader runs away and despawns, you can... Fuck me, he's going to fucking run. If he runs away and I don't get my fucking trophy, there you go. I don't get my fucking prize. Right, sorry, that getting a bit animated there. Oh yeah, yeah, T. I'll be getting a free review copy and free blowjobs from Ubisoft staff. Honestly, it wouldn't even have surprised me, given that the subreddit and the official forums has colluded to block my videos. It occurred to me that, you know, there's no point waiting for beta access. I swear to God, if there's a blacklist, I'm fucking on that blacklist for beta access. So no, I will not be getting free stuff from Ubisoft. Right, let's pack this up. Yeah, I mean, I've responding to Sniper. I think we're all guessing here because I think the recent shit show with the reveal and Yannick going out on stage with his explanation of pride and accomplishment. Sorry, discovery. That was it. You know, early access isn't about people gearing up early. It's really about discovery. I laugh my tits off. But anyway, with that recent shit show, it became very clear that I think the sales and marketing department, the community developers, and the actual developers making the game are sitting in 3 different buildings and maybe don't call each other enough. Like, maybe the marketing department hasn't called anyone at all, and that they're just basically making huge sweeping decisions about how to package up and compartmentalize the game, and then everyone else is just having to deal about it when they read about it on the fucking internet. Because I got the impression that a lot of us knew more about what the fuck was going on than fucking Yannick and everyone else on the state of the game. They were fucking clueless, man. I mean, Yannick had to read everything off a fucking card.
Látomű tudni! Eleged van! Nem!
Right, well that's working. So to go back to a question Sniper said, I don't know. I have not played Witcher 3. I own Witcher 3. I haven't played it. I played an unhealthy amount of Skyrim. I'd say it's been a long time, but I'd say maybe I felt very comfortable with the horse mechanics in this game after playing Skyrim. Put it that way. It's been so long since I played Skyrim, I couldn't comment how similar they are. And that kind of comment will probably trigger some people that I'm comparing them, but yeah, I mean I know major issues here with the horse riding. The main thing is it does help to learn the map if you're going to go really stupidly fast. If you're really going to throw caution to the wind. Yeah, you might want to have at least some kind of fucking Scooby about where low-hanging ceilings are and shit like that, because where, you know, if you want to know where the next turn is coming, it's a bit like a racing game. Once your speed gets above about 40-45, it's like a racing game. You kind of have to start anticipating some of those corners, or you're going to fuck yourself into a ditch, or, as I have done, hit a low tree or the corner of a house and be knocked flat on my arse. Teed, I have not seen their video about the Division downgrade on PlayStation. I'm really interesting to know what their relationship is, because they've clearly, you know, by their own admission, made a deal. The Rooster Teeth, the entire network, has made a deal with Ubisoft Massive, hence it's on the fucking statue. So clearly a deal has been made. I wonder what that encompasses. What they, you know, will they, you know, not cover certain things? Have they agreed to not do any negative news stories at a given day? Or, you know, I'm just, what, you know, this sort of stuff always goes on behind closed doors, so, and under NDA. So I'm really curious about how that side of the internet works. You know, they've, you know, they are, by Yannick's admission, I almost mellied a rabbit there. You know, a promotional partner. I'm very curious to find out what that entails.
Ellig!
Motherfucker!
Belladom!
Thank you for surrendering. That wasn't possibly the most noble thing I've ever done. But fuck it. I got his ear and a no, did I get a pretzel? I don't know. I got an ear at least. The other thing I'm going to do just to liven things up a bit is from now on live streams I'm going to play Crazy Golf, which basically means I'm going to try and remember every time I walk past a wayfarer, I'm going to try and take one wild swing at his head with a melee weapon. I mean, I'll miss most of the time because I'm fucking terrible at horse combat. But I just figured it would add a bit of roulette to the proceedings. Because obviously if I do make contact, I'll be immediately flagged as hostile. By the way, when Rico watches this stream, I owe him an apology because I philosophised at great length about why the axe is the best all-round weapon in the game. But for this hardcore playthrough, I've actually gone back on my own advice and I've gone mace all the way. And my logic is simply this. It takes so fucking long to train any weapon in this game that I don't believe, or I think it's counterproductive on hardcore, starting out with a sword, then transitioning to axe, and then moving on to mace end game. I think that's fine on normal because they train up so fast, but on hardcore, you know, I mean, shit. I mean, let's have a look at my skill now. I've only got 7 points in mace, and it's apart from like the introduction, you know, I have, you know, the mace has proven to be very hard to level. So I've just gone mace all the way, and it levels my strength, which is super important in hardcore. So yeah, I'm just giving this a try, and I just thought I'll go all in with the weapon that I'm going to use end game, which is mace, and it so far worked out very effectively, with the one downside being, unfortunately, never using a sword means that you don't level your agility as fast as would be ideal. So yeah, I find when it comes to choosing a bow, my strength is way in advance of agility. But I just thought, fuck it. Let's just see what happens if I only use a mace all the way through until I'm fairly high level.